Today, we've got pig butchering. For some reason, I don't know, it's in the title, but we're gonna check it out because it's a classic episode, in the words of EJ. They recommended this, so thank you very much. If there's any recommendations or requests that you have, you want me to react to, leave it in the comments. And this apparently is super cringy, and cringe is one of my top 2 favorite C words. What's the other, you might ask? Communication. Communication is important. Speak to your friends, your partner, your family. Resolve issues, because a lack of it can lead to relationships falling apart. What else were you expecting? Naughty. I can tell you what we're all expecting, and that's a reaction, so play the video.
He called himself a philanthropist, and I think that people that do that are very nice people.
Okay, peoples. Sue Kevin.
He always was just genuinely nice, always caring about me, asking me how I was, how my day went.
What good things to do.
So all told, out of my own personal money, it was $65,000, and then the account grew to over. It was at $110,000 when it all got frozen.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
You're very beautiful. I like you. I love you.
Right.
Good night.
Stop right there. Okay? A simple good night message should not turn into the worst lip sync ever. What the hell was going on there, huh? I'm not going to repeat it, which I've slyly done already. If you can hear the wind in the background, Mother Nature herself did not appreciate that. The lip smacking, are you busting a nut?
Good night.
On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Sue who is having...
I'm so sorry about that, by the way.
Stop it. Get some help.
It's about the man she has been planning to travel the world with. His name is Kevin, and he claims to be a businessman. He wanted to help Sue make money through an investment company he said he saw major growth in. Sue is now having doubts about the future of their relationship and if this investment company is legit after sending over $65,000 and her account now being locked on the company's website.
Is this a pig butchering investment thing? Are you investing in pig butchering?
Let's see if we can find some answers for her. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Go over there and do that.
And like
I'm
could help
pretty
stop
sure
someone
you
from
are
being
already.
scammed. Let's get into it.
Thank you, Catfish, as always.
Hello, Social Catfish. My
Hello.
name is Sue.
Right? Sue.
And I'm a nurse. I live here in Florida.
Okay.
I'm a Disney freak, as people at work call me. I have an annual pass, and I go to Disney quite often.
Fair. How was that
So I
edited?
met my husband. Actually, I met him online. Way back in the day when AOL had the little online chat thing.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
That's kind of how my first foray into online dating was.
Anyone remember MSN back in the day? I used MSN. Don't know what the...
It's just hard to talk about him because the past couple years of his life, unfortunately, were sad. He developed it's an early onset dementia and actually became a whole total different person.
Right.
We went on road trips and I did a lot of stuff that we'd always wanted to do, but we were going to do later on when I retired and that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
So we go to car shows and, lots of fun things together. And then he didn't like to travel anymore after about a year and a half. So then I was just his caregiver at home. So
After being married for 20 years, Sue's husband passed away in March of 2022. This left her lonely, so she decided to pick up online dating and opened a profile on Christian Mingle.
one day I got this message from somebody named Kevin.
Hello.
He said hi, and I said, hey, how are you? And then he asked, he wanted to know how old I was, and I wouldn't tell him. I said, if you can't tell by my picture, I can't help you. And then I actually said to him, it looks like you travel a lot. And then we talked about traveling. He asked me if I travel, and I said, yeah, I like to travel. I made mentions of the pictures on his Instagram that he had of sunset. We talked about that, and he said, oh, someday maybe you'll be able to take pictures of the sunset together. And I was like, oh, that would be nice. Right. He was about 6 foot, like 5'12", 6 foot, because I said I was 5'4".
Sorry, 5'12". 5'12". If anyone asks me how tall I am, I'm going to say I'm 5'12", because how can you dispute that? Huh? You can't tell me it's not real.
I was 5'4". Very dark hair. He has that Asian complexion. His eyes, you can tell by looking at him, he does. He has really fair skin.
What the hell are you doing, Sue? I'm sorry. But there's just no need for that, is there?
By looking at him.
Why did she do
really
that?
Fair skin. And very, attractive looking, and in all of his different photos.
I'm sorry, I must pause it, but am I sorry? You've come to expect it from this channel now. That is a handsome man, I'm not gonna lie to you. He is very tall and big. And I'm big too, in different ways.
Yeah, boy.
It means I've got a big ass, alright? But this guy is a handsome guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. If he messaged me and said, do you want to invest in pig butchering, I'd probably do it.
All of his different photos. He just had a mannerism about him.
Except I wouldn't.
He would stand tall and, was very sure of himself.
Oh, what a man. Goodness.
Always very well dressed, unless he was at the gym.
God.
And so he was in medical
What do
sales.
you do for work? You need to do me for work, Kevin.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So he was in medical sales of equipment, so he told me. He called himself a philanthropist. And I think that people that do that are very nice people. So all of those qualities, as we were chatting, just became reasons for me to talk to him more, if you will.
Right. Where
I
does
finally made him guess my age, and I told him how old I was.
What about weeks
many
later?
People tell me I don't look my age. I give up my age when I tell people how long I've been a nurse or how old my children are. Asked me about my family. He knew I had children, and so he would always ask me how my children were doing.
What a kind man.
He always was just genuinely nice, always caring about me, asking me how I was, how my day went. It was nice after, so many years of not having a good conversation with somebody about how I was. It just kind of made me feel good about myself. So he had the way of doing that. I think it was about 10 days. He says to me, oh, do you feel that?
I swear to you, someone else, another scammer has said that question.
And I was like, well, what does that mean? And he goes, well, there's this feeling, and I didn't know if you had it also. He goes, I just have this feeling about you. And that's kind of how he forayed into that. He had deep feelings for me, and he cared for me, and he loved me. So
sure.
Shortly after that, probably a week later, he decided to call me his wife. We were going to be married.
Bit creepy, but okay.
And it just developed from there.
Oh, get a grip, Sue.
He would call me baby, and he called me his princess. I told him I didn't like to use the word queen because it was associated with scammers.
Sorry? Well, you have foreshadowed yourself. That scammer must have been bricking it at that point. She's caught on, guys. What do? I'll call her princess instead. Wow, the irony that you've mentioned scammers to the scammer.
Scammers. And he goes, well, but I'm not one of those. And I go, well, okay, so but just don't call me a queen.
Right, so just the word queen makes you a scammer. So remember that, everyone. whenever you message someone, don't use the word queen because now you're a scammer. Oh, I mean, these scammers, they have to be sitting there on their laptops, on their phones, just absolutely ear to ear grinning. Because how stupid can you be?
Your queen. I called him my prince. And
But
I
the
used to call
scammers.
him baby. We called baby back and forth a lot.
Sue and Kevin chatted for weeks, and they even planned to meet in person. The two would send
course.
voice messages back and forth
Steak
every
and
morning
potatoes.
and night. Sue fell in love with Kevin's voice.
Alright.
Baby, you're very nice. Thank you. I am very happy. Oh my god. I wanted to you. Yes? Baby, come on. You're very beautiful.
I'm sorry, but is the scammer putting on an accent here? There's lows, which scammers are down there, you know. But now we're just descending further into the depths of hell.
You're very beautiful. I like you. I love you.
I don't want it. Stop it. Stop. Why have you
Good night.
so much
See you
saliva?
tomorrow.
You call them the little voice messages that you can send. So he would send several of those when he was wanting to have, you know, like a relationship that night, and we would chat back and forth, and then he would send me some video messages then, you know, like a recording. So
What?
I have those.
So you're sexting.
It was mainly just an Asian accent. Like I was, I like today I was going back and I listened to a couple of them and I thought, no, it just sounds like it's Asian. I mean, that's what it sounded like. So, I mean, I don't know.
Things were going great with
You
Kevin
okay,
until
Sue?
he reached
Are
out
you
to Sue
normal?
about an investment opportunity. He claimed this is how he made all of his money, and he could do the same for Sue if she started investing
He's a handsome
too.
man,
He
though,
told her
I
that they
can't
could
lie.
use the money to travel the world together.
So the first time Kevin asked for money for investment was probably, we had been talking for about maybe 3 weeks, and he talked about that was how he got his money.
Shut the hell up, Sue. For 3 weeks you're talking to someone and they say to you, can you send me money? I'll invest for you. Really? These are the people when we were growing up to telling us. These are the people that were telling us, don't speak to strangers. Be careful online. And after 3 weeks, to coin a phrase, you've bust it open and sent money to someone after 3 weeks for investments that you could make yourself, but they're going to do it on your behalf because that's normal, isn't it?
That was how he got his money to be able to give back to the community. And I was just like, yeah, but I don't need to do that. And then it would be kind of, well, why not? This is a good thing.
It really is money. For you,
It took
Kevin.
an awful long time, and I think I finally just go, okay, fine, I'll do it and see if I can make money. If I make money, I make money. So
You were pressured
when
then.
you logged into this investment website, I think it was Chinese Hong Kong based website. I actually was able to look it up, and that company was legit. So anyway, once you got verified and you could log in, you could see different transactions going on. There were I don't know if you call them tickers or whatever, but you know, this person made this money, this person made that money. So that's on the front part of it. I had my account, so I could click on my account and I could see what my money was.
So wait, you searched the company up to see if it was legit, but that's the extent of it. You didn't trust the website, but you trusted this person who after 3 weeks wanted you to send money for investments, because that's a normal thing to do, isn't it? When you meet someone, after a few bits of rizzing them up, send me money.
There was a box for customer service, so anytime you had questions, that's how you would get
Glad
that's how I got
to
the wallet
serve you.
address. to
You are being
send the money
served,
to,
Sue.
I would say that yes, I transferring $1,000, and then the next time 500. Then when it got there, I would get an email saying that it
can't
was
see.
there, it had
You are
arrived,
glitching.
and then I could invest it.
After the first investment of $1,000, Sue saw her account grow by 30%
So
in
it's
just 30
laundering
minutes.
again.
And that's when he showed me how to withdraw it. So he goes, hey, I got to show you how to withdraw it off the platform. I think I did the 300 because I thought, well, I'll just leave that there because then I don't have to wire it back and forth. So I did 5,000 next. I believe it went up to, it was 6 and it went
I
to
wish stuff
at
like that
least 7.
existed.
And I thought, well, I saw that it worked.
Sue was excited about the growth she was able to see on the investment site. Kevin enticed her to invest $5,000 more.
What is the investment
And within another
here?
30 minutes, her account jumped to $7,000.
But I needed to increase my principal, if you will, on the account in order to make more money. And he said if I put in 50 grand, that I would then make, I think it was 20%. And through the course of talking, he knew that I had a retirement account and I had this and I had that. And so I said, well,
No, because you literally told him you have a 401k.
Able to withdraw it and ended up wiring that money to get
Good for you. Well done.
$50,000.
So smart. Honestly. You can't just talk to someone these days. These people, they can't just talk to someone. I don't care if it's online or in person. Must you send money all the time to the... Holy hell, the wind right now is insane. There's news of like storms in the UK right now, but Mother Nature is very angry. And when are we seeing pig butchering?
And true to form, it made, I think it was $17,000. So
that's
thought,
real professional
really cool.
doing that, by the way.
He said,
By the way, YouTube, I'm just, wiping my... I'm not, relax. I have to make that abundantly clear for the algorithms and stuff.
Really cool. He said, there's a way to make even more. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need to make any more. This is sufficient. I'm happy with this. Right. He goes, there's this way to do it. Ask the customer service about VIP accounts. He said, oh, you should do the gold level. So I ended up somehow, stupidly, I call myself.
Oh, at least you've recognized you were
gold.
stupid.
Sue pulled money out of her savings and 401k to increase her principal on the investment site. Everything was going accordingly until she decided she wanted to pull some of the money out of the account.
Right.
My money was not able to be touched. I had to put in $100,000. Actually, I felt like I was threatened. That was when I realized that I wasn't getting any of my money back. He badgered me for the whole time. He became a different person.
Why are you acting like this?
But if I didn't have it all in there by 7 days, then they were going to sue me and investigate me for fraud and put it out there that I was committing fraudulent activity. And that's when I became very disenchanted with Kevin and with everything that was going on. And I didn't know I really just didn't know what to do. He was going to put in $65,000 if I could come up with the $35,000.
Do you know what? Do you know what is a bit weird to me? Because let's say Kevin is real, right? Look, I really want us to travel the world comfortably. But you are supposed to have a lot of money already, Kevin. So why do you need her to also invest? Which I can understand you want your partner, but let's say this is real scenario. I would understand if you want your partner to also make a lot of money, because that's just better for everyone, right? But why would they need to do that so that you can travel comfortably if you already have money? So let your partner make the money, great, but that it doesn't mean they need the money for you to travel. I don't know. Sue should have really caught on to this beforehand, because after 3 weeks of speaking to someone and they ask you to invest, it just run.
Come up with the $35,000. And I was like, I just have no way to do that. And, he talked me into, I actually ended up
you have so much money. So
I got an extension for 3 days to have time to put the money in. So all told, out of my own personal money, it was $65,000, and then the account grew to over. It was at $110,000 when it all got frozen.
Right, of course the
After
bank
sending
is
over
going to do that.
$65,000 to Kevin, Sue hasn't seen any of her investment earnings and has doubts about Kevin.
Damn
being
you,
real.
Kevin.
But I mean, it could turn out that he would. I mean, I don't, from listening to his voice on the, the recordings that he would send me, it was like an Asian voice, if you will. So, or what I thought was. So
It just
that's
wasn't.
the part that is like, well, like really, who is he and where?
Well, why
was
does she
he?
keep
Was he
glitching?
really in, Los Angeles, or really is he one of the, where's the big place, Nigeria? Is that where a lot of them are from? I mean, that's, I guess, the part now that like really, like, who was he and where was he?
What? How are you clued up that scammers exist and the vocabulary scammers use, for example, but yet you've fallen for it anyway? That I understand that you were lonely, and after dealing with obviously the loss of your husband and looking after him for such a long period of time, and you wanted love again, you wanted someone to take care of you this time, for example. But don't send money to someone you've known for 3 weeks. I also want to say that I do remember there was another story of a victim. She got scammed and she was talking about how she had to look after her husband. But in comparison to that one that I didn't really like, because the way she was speaking about her husband was like it was a travesty to look after him. At least she didn't slander the husband for being in a position that she now has to look after him, if that makes sense. So, at least she didn't speak down on him like the other one. I don't know, I thought that was interesting to point out. Or maybe not.
Like, who was he and where was he? That's a mind-boggling part for me now, but
It boggles.
I mean, I'm okay. I'm not like a lot of people that every last cent that they have, they send.
The next day, our
That is
team
good,
got
to be
together
fair.
to go over Sue's information. The first thing we went over was this website she was using to invest.
Where
All
does
right, so this is a website that Sue was investing in.
Where's the
As
pig
you guys
butchering
know,
coming
Kevin was
from?
telling her to invest in this site, and he was telling her that she was going to get great returns. What do we think about this?
So we looked up who is on the website. So who is, if you create a website, you have to register your information. Well, they've given people an opportunity to do this anonymously through, third-party registrars. And so this website was registered about 4 months ago, but it was registered anonymously. So all the contact information directs to like an anonymous company that does this. One interesting thing, though, when we looked this up, is we looked up online. We were able to locate other people that were scammed using the same website. And we found 3 other websites using the exact same template. So somebody's taking this template, they're copying it, and they're creating a bunch of other sites. When we looked at the source code, so the source code is basically the code that the site's built with, we noticed a lot of Chinese writing. And so, whoever built the site, was most likely Chinese, because all the annotations in the code were written in Chinese.
Right.
This case reminds me a lot of Brian's case. Pig butchering cases, they're very common. They're called pig butchering because they fatten these victims up.
They initially have you put a small amount of money in, and then when you request to pull money out, it works and you receive the funds. And so what that does is that establishes trust between you and the site and the person you're talking to, because you feel like this is legitimate. I put money in, I got money back, and then it entices you to continue to keep putting money in.
Here I was thinking there was actually going to be some sort of a pig being butchered. You learn something every day watching these, don't you? It's actually good to watch these because I do learn that pig butchering is a term in scams.
Over time.
The website is designed to, there's member news that tells you how much people are profiting from their site. It just seems so, I don't know, sleazy and pig butchery. From the information that we received from Sue, we also got this voice message.
Baby, you're very nice. Thank you. I am very
Bro,
happy. Oh my god. I wanted to you. Yes? Baby, come on.
What the
You're
hell?
very beautiful. I like you. I love you.
Bro, imagine sitting beside this man
night.
doing this.
See you tomorrow.
This is a huge debate.
It's an African person trying to sound Asian.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
What do you mean you like that?
I don't know if it's Nigerian or what country, but it's definitely sounding similar to that region.
Like looking at like the code, the source code on the website,
Yeah.
and like
Right. Genuinely, I'm a bit concerned at the wind levels right now. So, you know, if you can hear it in the background, I'm sorry. And if somehow the walls around me fly away, well, first of all, wonder who uploaded this to YouTube, who edited this, and secondly, petition, am I alive? But definitely wonder, you know, if I'm swept away right now, who the hell edited this video and uploaded it? Because that would be the more concerning thing. Forget if I'm alive or not.
and like a lot of
Who
these types of
found my
scams come
footage?
from China anyway. I would say there's a high likeliness.
I
that
love
the
his
person
eyes.
is in China. Not saying that that's for, like, I mean, people can manipulate their voice, but because of like everything else and like historically, these
I wouldn't
scams
call that
typically come
manipulation
from, like,
of the
Chinese
voice.
scammers.
But
I would assume it is, but yeah.
So when I went and I tried to get another Bitcoin wallet, they did say contact me back at 8 a.m. Hong Kong hours. So, which was kind of like, I don't know. All of those things, like the mix between the code and then them talking to me on the site.
Here's my question. If they were in Nigeria, would they tell you, contact me back at 8 a.m. Nigeria time?
Got you.
well, obviously.
Scammers are known to try to mask their voices. What kind of accent do you think Kevin has? Let us know in the comment section below.
Baby, you're very nice. Thank you. I am very happy.
If we were going to find answers for Sue, the first thing we needed to do was
he's such a
verify this man
handsome
in
man.
these photos. Bree and Virginia sat down and started to run
crazy.
searches.
So I talked to Sue earlier, and she's talking to an international philanthropist named Kevin.
Did she send pictures?
Just now. So I haven't seen them yet, so we can look at it together.
All right, let's see.
All right.
Oh!
Hello.
Whoa!
Well, let's run a reverse image search.
Yeah.
See if we can
I
find
bet
something.
you want to run a reverse
Let's look
image
up this
search.
picture.
I bet you do.
More than 800 matches found.
We're gonna have to sift through all these profiles he has.
Yeah. But we got this.
We got
got
it.
Yeah, you,
Let's do
you
it.
want to continue. I know it. I would.
Took us a long time, but I think we found him.
Nice. What did we find?
So, I think I have his Instagram up here. His name is Lewis, and he's actually a content creator on YouTube.
Of
he does fitness
course.
Success?
videos. Success.
The abs match.
Took us a while, but good old
Don't be
reverse image
shy.
search.
Did it! Once again!
Sorry,
Our
again.
team felt we had enough answers to give Sue some clarity. We found the truth about this guy who claimed his name was Kevin.
Right.
We even dug deep into this investment website. But make sure you stick around until the end.
I'm seated.
We'll talk to Sue about the
Right.
information we found.
I need to see
He
more
said
of
his name
Kevin.
was Kevin, and then he said his Chinese name was, because he's from Hong Kong, was Chen Li.
We were
Right.
able to trace the images back.
And we'll even get to talk to the customer service on this investment website. Someone had just sent money to that wallet 2 days ago.
Right.
That's terrible.
Yes, it is.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys.
As always,
We
guys.
appreciate you so much. It was now time to sit down with Sue and reveal everything we found. Sue, how's it going?
Nice to meet you, Sue.
Hi.
Hello.
You came to us to verify this man, and we have all the answers for you today. We'll hop into the searches we ran, David.
So, Sue, the first thing that we looked at was the phone number that you got. The phone number was what's called a VoIP phone number, which
course.
essentially it's an internet phone number. and anybody can have a VoIP phone number. So you can go to Google Voice, set it up on your cell phone really quickly, and then anybody from all over the world can call that number directly. And I can get an area code anywhere that I want. So if I want it in San Francisco or I want it in Miami Beach, Florida, I can have that. And so now you think that I'm attached to that area. That's not the case.
Weird.
And so this number was a VoIP phone number that you were contacting.
That it exists. Or is it useful? I don't know.
One interesting thing, so we had pulled the website, and so we used some tools to view when the website was originally purchased, you know, when it went up, what it looked like when it went up over time. The first thing that we did is we looked at who owns the website, because that's the biggest telltale sign. And unfortunately with this, there was a privacy company that was used to register the website.
Right.
And so when you register a website, you have to have contact details for that site. And so you can use a privacy service if you don't want your personal details out there. But what we were able to find, the website was recently created in January.
It expires soon, as this is uploaded, soon. I don't know what relevance that had, realistically, so I'm sorry.
Recently created in January of this year. If you are, doing business with anybody online, it's important to know how long they've been in business for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I guess for me, I would have to learn how, you can kind of look at that, because I wouldn't know.
Looking up who has information and looking at source code and some other things, it's pretty advanced stuff. It's not the stuff that most people know how to do, but those are telltale signs that we look at when we investigate these things.
Okay.
Or
the other thing with the
don't send
website
money.
are the reviews. And so we were able to find reviews online, and it had a 1 out of 5 rating.
Wait. Okay, no, I was gonna say, but she looked it up and found it was legit, but then I guess they're looking up the actual source code section, so you know what? I'm not gonna say anything.
Out of 5 rating. And somebody actually labeled the website as a scam. They said it was a scam. The website has a login, which is what you used, and then it also has a chat feature. And so we've seen a lot of this on other sites to validate, the site. And so Drew actually reached out to them through chat, and I'll let him walk you through.
Oh, let me see this.
So Sue, I reached out to them through the chat, reaching out to you.
The things I would say.
And my girlfriend. And I told them that my girlfriend, Jessica, wanted me to invest into this website. The customer service kindly got back to me. Maybe I can try to get a Bitcoin wallet out of them or something. We could search that.
Right. I would say, send me a picture.
There it is. I got a Bitcoin wallet. And they sent me a Bitcoin wallet to get everything set up, which has raised a huge red flag for me, because normally if you're on a website, if you're doing business with a legitimate company,
they're not gonna send
they're never gonna send you a Bitcoin wallet to, buy something or invest. What I did is I handed that Bitcoin wallet over to the search.
Just imagine, you're online shopping on a legitimate clothing website, right? And you get the little chat pop-ups and you say, hey, can I have your bank details so I can send you the money instead of the company? And they just send it. You'd be scared. I don't want any more clothes here, all right? I thought that would... I've left that in as well, because you get to see the raw me, where I say things that just don't make sense.
What I did is I handed that Bitcoin wallet over to the search team. They searched it, and someone had just sent money to that wallet 2 days ago. By using our advanced Bitcoin tools, we are able to figure out how much money is in a Bitcoin wallet and the transactions. When Sue would invest money into this website, she would wire transfer into a Bitcoin wallet. We were able to find out that the Bitcoin wallet she was sending money to had over 41,000 transactions, and one of them was over $20,000. And what that tells us is this is a huge scam. You're not alone. You're not the only one surfing and going through this website. And you're also not the only person that sent money to this investment company.
That's terrible.
It is.
We looked at the source code on the website. So the source code is essentially the code that puts the site together. And when we looked up the source code, part of it was written in Chinese. So you can leave like annotations within code, and this code had Chinese in it. And so we tend to see a lot of like business, financial investment scams originate out of China, especially Hong Kong. And so, so as we continue to reveal information, you'll start to see why we think that more and more.
Based on our experience, specific types of scams tend to emerge from particular regions. For instance, a significant number of romance scams are traced back to West Africa, while many call center scams are associated with India. In Sue's situation, she unfortunately fell victim to a pig butchering scam, which predominantly originates in Asian countries. Although we may not have a definitive explanation on why certain regions become hotspots for particular scams, it remains crucial for us to be aware of these patterns so that relevant authorities can take appropriate action.
We were able to run
they
a
didn't
reverse
answer my
image search.
question, but
you had been talking to Kevin.
They also wonder
right?
it.
Yeah, he said his name was Kevin, and then he said his Chinese name was, because he's from Hong Kong, was Chen Li.
We were able to trace the images back, and the guy in the image, his name is Louis O.
Of course, he does workout videos. I can't remember if I said it or not, but I said when we first saw that he was a creator, if he doesn't create fitness content, then I don't know what kind of content he would create. Fair play, I mean, I might watch it for all the right reasons.
And the guy in the image, his name is Louis O. And he's a fitness model and influencer and fitness trainer. And he has a large YouTube channel with over 2 million followers.
Oh my. Oh.
So on his Instagram profile and his YouTube channel, he has tons of photos and videos. And so this person went and grabbed those photos and videos, and then they've been sending them to you this whole time.
I mean, if you're going to take someone's pictures, you're taking his, aren't you? I mean...
As we started to dig in on Luis, there was so many fake profiles all over the internet. He's a known face to be used in romance scams.
I understand.
We found profiles that go across Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse. You name the website or the app, his face is probably on there. This was an expensive lesson for Sue. All she wanted was someone to travel the world with. She does plan on continuing to online date, so we set her up with some tools and some directions on where to report this scam.
Right, because I mean, like I said, I could see it, like you'd log in and you could see all the different people, and then what their activity was. So, I mean, on the surface, it looks legit, so.
But we do have some good news for you, somewhat good news for you, okay? So we were able to trace all the funds back into the wallets where they were deposited. So the money went back into Binance, which is an exchange that works with law enforcement. And so we were able to trace those funds. We know where they went. We have the deposits and the dates. And what we can do is we can give this over to law enforcement. So let's get you to file an IC complaint and then a complaint with your local FBI. We can get law enforcement involved, and we can get them to file what's called a KYC request. And a KYC request, they have to hand over the identity of the person.
KYC jelly. A supermarket's own brand of KY jelly.
This is great banter. It really is.
If you're in the UK, KYC jelly would be Lidl's own version of lube. My hand is very dry and it's like cracking and stuff. Can you see that? Again, we keep it real here, right? I got dry skin. What are you gonna do about it?
Over the identity of the person. And so just like if you were going to create a bank account and you have to give your ID, your address, all this documentation, you have to do it on crypto exchanges now that are regulated in the United States.
It's just funny.
And then if they can trace the funds because they've been withdrawn, then you might be able to get some or maybe even all your money back.
Okay.
Hopefully she did.
We're also going to send you access to Unfraud It. So we have this AI, it's an artificial intelligence tool that we built that you can drop messages, websites, phone numbers, emails, and
Seems
it will
good.
tell you the likeliness of it being a scam or not. So it's like basically having us in your pocket at all times.
Okay. Well, that would be good because I think sometimes it's the words, and I did have an experience where I put pictures in and I found out he was a scammer. So, but even the conversations with this guy, I never would have thought that. So, so that would be helpful because
What do you mean, man? You said you have experience reverse image searching. So how have you ended up in this scenario? I don't understand when they say they've had experiences or they know this, they know that, but still get scammed. I mean, I understand you're lonely, right? And you wanted someone to travel the world with, which is weird because go outside and actually meet people in the real world. But someone has mentioned this before in the comments. It's greed. It's the greed of, for example, wanting a much younger person to be your partner. Which, look, you can have that if you want. If it's consensual, might I add. You're both adults, whatever. But I can understand it being the greed, Like, what is wrong with people your own age? I don't understand. Get a grip of yourselves.
I don't know.
We're going to be here with you. And we're going to figure this thing out with you. Chris will reach out to you. We're going to compile all the information that we have.
Chris Hansen?
And put it all in one doc and send it over to you. And then we'll talk a little later on today about getting everything reported.
Okay.
This is not the end for sure, okay?
All right. Thank you.
That's a bit ominous to say. We're working with her to recover some of her money. She's gonna file a lube request. Recovering your money from a romance club is a long road, but
thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, Drew. That faded out a bit too quickly. Do you think I'm the Flash at reading? No. However, what I will do in a flash is say thank you to everyone for the support recently. Thank you, EJ, for this request. Again, pig butchering, I was thinking of something completely different, but thank you to Kevin for that wonderful voice message. I will have nightmares about it in my dreams. I'll see you guys on the next one. And again, if you do want me to react to any in particular that you found cringe or you particularly enjoyed, doesn't even have to be scamfish reactions. I'll see what I can do. If it, just drop it down below. Drop it like it's hot. Apple bottom jeans and them things there. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. And if you do want to see more, whole playlist here, go enjoy as I now go and enjoy the wonderful wind that Mother Nature is bestowing upon us, because I'm scared and I don't want the house to blow away in the middle of recording.